Poor succession planning wipes an estimated $8.4 billion from the stock market value of Fortune 100 companies every year, and 78% of the organizations in the US and UK admit that they have experienced talent retention problems. Building the skills and capabilities of your workforce is key to maintaining and growing the value of your human capital investments now and into the future. So, can your organization answer the following? Where are the gaps between needs and talent? Do you hire for key roles or promote internally? And what are the critical areas needed for development in your organization? Well, the Metrics That Matter Capabilities Edition by Knowledge Advisors provides you the tools and technology to help build your organization's bench strength. You can target skills to develop, assess promotion readiness, and identify high potentials for future development, all with the Metrics That Matter system. Now let's go take a look. When thinking about the organizational capabilities you have, you may want to start off with a 360 assessment of the individuals within your leadership pool. For instance, here we're using the Metrics That Matter multi-rater assessment with different competencies around business acumen, entrepreneurial mindset, building the talent within the organization itself. After the individuals in the Rater network complete the assessment, we can provide in-depth reporting by individual. This particular report will show direct report scores, manager, peer, the entire network. Easy to read graphs will pinpoint areas of competency that are doing well or need for improvement. Additionally, we can plot all those things on one graph in order to see what areas exceed expectations or where we have outliers or blind spots. When thinking in terms of the individual, we may want to use a report out of Metrics That Matter like the Leader Alignment Scorecard. This particular report takes the individual average score by question and by competency and compares that to the average of the network of people in the organization and allows you to do extensive gap analysis. When we think in aggregate, here's a way that we can look at, say, pinpointing business acumen by department within the organization. Whether it's finance, IT, marketing, operations, or sales, we can see top box versus bottom box scores here relative to a benchmark in the organization. Another way to assess capabilities is through a project assessment. Many organizations use Metrics That Matter to measure the effectiveness of projects in their organizations. Here's an example of using the project assessment tool around time management, cost, scope, risk, communications, etc. As you see here, we're not only measuring the effectiveness of the project as a whole, but we're also being able to assess individuals' performance at the project manager, leader, or contributor level. The Metrics That Matter tool allows you now to do a multi-rater assessment on the different team members on a specific project. The reporting capabilities are both at the overall or project summary level, as we see here. So we're looking at the details of outcomes, the management of the process itself, team competencies, and qualitative feedback. So this report can be delivered throughout the organization to the project team members and to help establish project teams in the future. Individual reports can be provided to the network in the project itself. As we can see here, we can then look at overall rankings, qualitative feedback, strengths, hidden strengths, and blind spots for the project manager and make sure and align those to future projects. When targeting skills to develop, you may want to use a knowledge or skill test as you see here. We can ask multiple choice, fill in the blank, matching type questions through Metrics That Matter. After individuals have completed the test or knowledge check, we can also look at the reports from a pre and post test type of category. And what's the delta between the cohorts that took the test. In addition, you may want to look at an aggregate score, not only by category, but by questions, and see what the distribution of scores were in order to assess the validity of the programs and the questions that you're asking. Many organizations need to track development goals of individuals and the coaching process. Here's an example of how both a participant and a manager and coach can collaborate to track goals specific to the organization. In this case, maybe it's increased collaboration or improved written communication or better presentation quality skills. From a reporting perspective, here's an example of where we can report out on their progress to goals in both a summary format or in an individual business outcome perspective, as we saw previously around increased performance. This shows that we were below goal starting out the program, and then finally met the goal or exceeded the goal by the green bar. Now, going from an individual perspective, we can think in terms of our capabilities dashboard. Here we can see we're tracking and monitoring several KPIs in the Metrics That Matter dashboard. Capabilities index, organizational competency, some of these which we saw earlier on the multi-rater assessment. Maybe it's talent effectiveness or time to promotion. These are just a few of the examples of organizations that are tracking key capabilities within their organization. The Metrics That Matter dashboard can be shared virtually, maybe in a quarterly ops meeting, or you can utilize the Metrics That Matter dashboard iPad app in order to share these dashboards with your mobile workforce. Let's revisit the questions I posed at the beginning of the session. Where are the gaps between the needs and talent in your organization? Do you hire for key roles or promote internally? And what are the critical areas for development within your company? Make sure you let accurate data drive your decision making by using the Metrics That Matter Capabilities Edition.